Good morning, all of you. Today I'm going to discuss on my first lecture of OAD. Here I'm explaining something about OAD and sharing my PPT. As I mentioned here, the introduction is the first topic of the first module of UML. Here, what is the UML? Why we use if we are going to study anything, the main thing in our mind, why we use this and what is this? Two questions are always in our mind. If we are starting any new things, any new subject, any new kind of things, and if we are doing some new work, then the first thing in our mind, or first thing or two questions in our mind: what is this and why we use this? So first I am starting with what is this particular head is show introduction about UML. As I mentioned here, UML is a language for modeling software system. UML is a language for modeling software system. It means the UML modeling language is a standard language for specifying, visualizing, constructing, and documenting the artifacts of software system, as well as for business modeling and other non-software system. I'm moving to the next point. UML stands for Unified Modeling Language. This is the full form of UML. UML is a unified modeling language. It means UML is a structural language. The UML represents a collection of best engineering practices that have proven successful in the modeling of large and complex systems. This is a language of structure. UML express in the form of text and in the form of document in a graphical representation. Next, moving to the next point, UML was created by Object Management Group. UML is created by Object Management Group. UML, the first version of UML is UML 1.0. Specification draft was proposed to OMG, as I told you, Object Management Group, in January 1997. UML is not a programming language, not a methodology to develop a software system. As we know, if we are talking about UML, UML is just not like a coding. It provide a framework. It provide a structural view. It provide a graphical representation of software system and non-software system. Both are covered in the UML language. So here I'm mentioning UML is not a programming language, not a methodology to develop a software system. UML provides tools that can be used to generate code in various languages using UML diagram. UML basically a collection of diagram. As I told you, the UML represent a collection of the best engineering practices that have proven successful in the modeling of large and complex system. The UML is very important part of developing object-oriented software and the software development process. UML uses mostly graphical notation to express the design of software project. It is also used to model non-software system as well. For example, the process flow in the manufacturing companies, manufacturing units. Why I'm using this point? because if you are if you are seeing so many organizations, UML is not only for software design, or not for only for software system, and not for only designing a software concern and software products. It's also used in non-software system. For example, as I mentioned here, the process flow in a manufacturing unit, and also you can see in your organization also, because so many structural view in front of you. By that structural view, you can easily peek out what are the things is going on in the particular structure, because a structure or a visual graphics is give a very very clear vision of a particular thing. For example, if in the manner of college, in the manner of organization, if you are joining first day in your college, in your organization, then you want to, you have some few knowledge of that particular organization. If you want to search anything, you just think all around you just thinking someone is here to to explain about that uh, organization graphical and structural manners, and what are the things you want to do. And if there is a structure, there is a graphical representation within the main gate of that particular organization, you don't have need to see any person. You just go to the structure and see the structure, and you easily pick out what are the things and what are the place you want to visit. It be mentioned in the particular structure, that will be very easy for you to pick the your location, and easy to understand. And after taking that graphical representation and learning from the graphical picture, you can easily go to the particular location where you want to visit, and where you want to do, and where you want to work for it. This structural manner is give a very boost up in a particular manufacturing, in a particular organization, in a particular college and schools, so many things. If you are entering in a college, first day of your college, you are just simply searching about your department, and you just seeing where is the help desk, and how to the find a particular department where your admission is done. But if there is a structure, the structure mentioned here, first floor, second floor is the department of this, and is the department of that, and all thing is very mannered and structured, and graphical representation is there. You can easily go to that particular structure and easily pick your department without any person's help. So it is also to you to model non-software system as well. UML is a tool. It provides a tools that generate code in various languages using UML diagram. Because UML total collection of diagrams. UML uses mostly graphical notations to express the design of the software. As I mentioned here, UML uses mostly graphical notation, because if we are talking about pictorial representation of things, it means UML has some unified picture for a particular thing, because this will be show what the block is showing and what the block is having, the document, the content, it will be show in that particular manner. So UML mostly have some graphical pictorial representation, or we can say predefined blocks of images, predefined block of things, because these blocks show a different masses in a different manner. Because here in the UML diagrams, we mention here UML diagram. It means the UML having so many diagrams. Here class diagram, relationship diagrams, and entity relationship diagrams, and DFD diagrams. So every diagram is different from others. So the UML have some graphical notations for each and every diagram, and each and every diagram is different from others. So this will explain the difference of the diagrams. UML is independent of particular programming language and development process. As I told you in above points, UML is independent of particular programming language, because UML is not a programming language. It provide a graphical representation. It provide a pictorial representation. By that particular pictorial representation, by that particular visualization and documentation, the process of development is on that particular on from that particular image, and from that particular graphs, the developer can do according to the according to the image, because the image UML provide a graphical representation. UML not providing any coding language, any coding part. UML cover the whole system in a particular graphics, in a particular visual document, in a particular diagram, because UML language is express diagrams, and diagrams where in a next level the programmer pick out the main requirement and main things from that particular diagram, and after taking that diagram, the programmer easily understand what the objects and what the classes are working, and why we use this thing in our diagram, and why what are the things are going in this particular diagram. This will be represent in a next manner. UML is independent. UML is encourage the growth of object oriented tools. UML encourages the growth of object oriented tools because UML is basically designed for object oriented programs, or UML is basically designed for object oriented programming language, because UML is give a push up in designing of object oriented programming. This graphical notation subject provide a boost up in programming, in coding part of the software design. Before UML, the software designer firstly check the requirement, and requirement, after requirement analysis, he works some documentation part, some flow charts, and after creating some flow chart, that flow chart will be show what are the phases is taken within the particular design and particular product design, and software developer pick out that particular things from the flow chart, and after that he will design a required user product, and so many tasks are hidden within the flow chart. But the flow chart also a part of graphical representation, but the flow chart is not giving so much clear view of the required software development. The software developer is sometimes confused, and so many times go to the user, and user can check again and again, and this will be a very hectic for a user and developer. Both are to create a simple project. If a very complex project, that will be in a right manner. We are going so many times for user to take some requirement, and according to the requirement the developer can develop. But In a small project, if users, if developer go to the user again and again, or organization approach the user again and again, then the user can refuse. How we do user can irritate of this again and again process. So it will be not good for our organization to approach a user again and take the requirement. So if a clear diagram, if a picture of that particular system which user want to develop, it will be clear in front of a developer. That developer can easily pick the points from the diagram, from the requirement. This will be a very helpful for creating a object oriented programs. So the UML provide a platform for programming, for programming, developing, and visualization. The documentation part of UML is so clear. In UML diagrams, we are easily pick out what are the functions are going on within the software product. According to the software product and according to the requirement, the UML diagram is designed. Each and every step is very clear, and that steps are taken by the program developer, and program developer can easily understand what are the objects are here and what it's do. Because if we don't know what are the objects and what are the class and what they are collaborate with each other, how to develop a program or how to develop a software. So many times and so many times are consuming to develop a software before the UML language, because the concepts are concerned about what is the object and what is the relationship between object and classes, and how the classes are interact with this, and what are the entities and what are the things. It will be a very hectic for a software product programmer to pick all these things. But after introducing a UML language, yeah, unified modeling language, the software developer is only concerned to think about a software design, because the design of UML is very clear. All phases are totally clear in front a software developer. And also UML provide a very clear documentation, because if a person in a software development company wants to resign from their post and he join any other company, and a new person is joined in a company, how it tackle that particular software which is developed by any other person, and half software is developed and rest of half is developed by him. At that particular time, when the new person is joined, he will be tackled with the UML diagram, because UML diagram is a part, he give a total description about a software project development. Software project development is a process, is taking some steps. UML diagram total explain about the particular thing. If I am talking about a, a blueprint of a particular software product, so UML is a very important for designing a software product. Now I am moving to the next slide. Importance of UML modeling. As I mentioned, as I told you before this, UML is how much important. So here I am just point out some points according to the importance of UML modeling. Here I am mentioning first point. A model may be structure, emphasize the organization of the system, or it may be behavioral, emphasizing the dynamics of the system. As I told you, UML model is a structural model. As I written here, maybe a structural, maybe a type of documentation. So I'm here writing model, maybe a structural. Any graphical structure is give more vision of a product. If you are going to develop anything and you have only written documents, then you can firstly read out and take some uh, key points from that particular document, and after taking these key points you creating some rough ideas and some rough rough objects and some rough works. But if you are taking UML diagram, it will be shows all things, because here I'm mentioning maybe a structural, because UML is a visual and graphical structure, and UML provide a graphical notations that will be a very helpful for a designing, because it show all behaviors of that particular things. If we are talking about a structure, if we are talking about any class diagram, that class diagram show all each classes, what are their function and how do they interact with other class, and what are the things are hidden in it, and what are the abstraction, what are the polymorphisms are used in within the structure. This will be a very helpful for creating a new product or designing a new software, because UML is not only for software design, it will be used in so many organizations in different manners, because UML give a pictorial representation of a system, of an organization, of a particular product development. So importance of UML is very much concerned to our organization, and organization nowadays use UML very much. It not only a manufacturing unit, only it will be used in everywhere in your aspects, as you see all over the world. A model, next model provides template for building system. As I told you, UML is giving a template, because if I'm talking about a structure of a building, here I'm mentioning building systems, because if a civil engineer wants to create a building or wants to create a house, wants to create a bridge, before that particular starting the structure, he or she will start first creating a blueprint. And this blueprint is very important to develop a final product, because the final product is firstly designed on a paper, that will be very helpful for to create in a physical manner, because without a blueprint the civil engineer cannot be developed their structure. How the visions are created in the mind, where is the wall, where is the kitchen, where is the living room, where is the all things are in their mind. But after the structure, the civil engineer easily can peek out what are the things are here, how to develop this, and this will be a simply a blueprint or template for developing anything. Same like the civil engineers, we are also used in the developing of software products. The software product is also developed by various phases, and various phases are documented in a particular document. As we know, software development life cycle have first is requirement analysis, and after requirement analysis we are moving to the design part. And design part is very important, because the design part is is creating a blueprint of the particular product. That particular product is designed on that particular blueprint, and this blueprint is designed by the UML modeling language. And so it is very important to design a blueprint or template of a particular system. Next, to help in visualize, as I mentioned, as I told you, the model provide a template for building system. This template show a very visual in a manner of development, in a manner of software product development. UML give a very clear pictorial representation picture in front of the programming developer, because here I'm talking about software development. So I'm so many times I'm using software development. UML also can use in non-software systems. So here, to help in visualize, it means UML provide a very clear picture in front of software coder. Next, we build models so that we can better understand the system we are developing. Very important. As we know, the UML is a pictorial representation of product which we are going to design. Here I am mentioning we build a model, we create, because nowadays all thing is the before going to develop to the final product. Firstly, we design some prototype, and prototype model is very important for a final design, because prototype model give a betterment, advice or feedback. After taking feedback, the some changes are done, and after creating that changes, the final product will be developed. And this will be is easy for making a prototype is by the use of UML, because UML models a better understand the system we developed. It provide a blueprint before final product. We are just create a one blueprint of that particular final product, and that blueprint define everything about the about the final product, and each and every blocks and each and every steps very clear in that particular model. And each that model explain about all functions, about all steps of the final product. Next, we build models of complex system, because we cannot comprehend such a system in its entity. Because if, as I told in the previous topic, in the previous we build models so that we can better understand the system we are developing. Now it will be a very helpful to design a complex system, because complex system is too much is too much hectic to design a final product. If we are going to design very complex structure for a particular organization, a particular software, that will be a very complex, that after creating that particular software, we are just thinking how the functions are doing and what are the things are being going on within the process. It will be very difficult. So if we are creating a pictorial representation, and we creating a graphical representation, this graphical and pictorial representation so all complexity of the particular product. This will very helpful. And so many times you are seeing the, if you are visiting any place, any historical place, and firstly if you insert, if you on the place of entry, you are just seeing they are creating some holdings and some architecture where mention all the blocks, what are the way you take and what are the things in this particular historical place. It will be shown in a particular graphical manner. That graphical manner is less the complexity of that particular organization, that particular historical place. This historical, this this manner will be used in the UML modeling, and the complexity of the system is reduced because the graphical presentation is show what are the steps is being used, and how to the functions are incorporate with the particular blocks and particular things, and how to the software are interact with each other. This will be a very easy, and after using of UML modeling, the complexity of the system is reduced. It will be a very improvement in the complexity reduction in the software development. Next, a good model includes those elements that have broad effect and omits those minor elements that are not relevant to the given level of abstraction. As I'm here mentioning, the a presentation of a model. A presentation of a model includes. It means if a graphical representation of a software development product, we can easily pick out those elements which are maximum use or which are very important within the software. Because the software developer, if if I'm talking about a person only coding, designing their codes, he will not very concerned about the what are the elements are very important in this particular codes, and what are the things are used again and again, and what are the things are not too much it will be not a very easy task to check each and every elements. But in the graphical presentation, in the modeling label, or we can say in the UML modeling, these points, these elements are easily pick out. What are the elements are very important within the software development process. That elements are easily, we can pick the elements which are very important within the product, and that particular elements we are used again and again according to the requirement. We can use these objects in different manners and different functions and different blocks, because graphical representation show all the functions and all the relationship between the objects and classes. Classes and objects are how to interact with each other. Each and every step is very clear within the modeling language, and this modeling language express how to interact with the all element of the with all element of a particular development process. Each and every block is how to correlate each other. And if we are talking about complexity, it will be very low in the form of modeling, because each and every functions of a block very clear. So the block is clear, it will show a very clear picture in front of the developer. So developer can easily pick out those points which are very important, and hide those points which are not so much important. He will abstract that particular points that are not very important within the development process. This models explain everything about the development process. Is so UML modeling is not only used in the software development, it also used in a very every manufacturing companies and every organization to explain about the production, about the use of things, about what are the things which are going within the organization, and how to interact with these things. These all things are created by UML modeling language.